Hi everyone, this is John Wen. Today is October 3rd, 2019. I will record this video to briefly talk about how to set up the SSL certificate on Wayne State University DataView.org server with HTTPS access. For the past few months, we are working on to set up the SSL certificate on the DataView.org server to ensure it has a very secure transaction between user and the server. And now it has been successfully set up. If you go to the DataView.org from your internet browser, and you will directly go with the HTTPS instead of HTTP in the past. So I will briefly introduce how to set up this on our server, and here's the highlights. So firstly, we have to install the Tomcat server. For security purpose, it is recommended to run as an unprivileged user, like it's not root. I will skip these details, but I will attach a link that how to set up the Tomcat server, including set up the not this one. Here is a website I will attach to the description below, and it is how to set up the Tomcat server, add to the right group, as well as set up the service file, system service file that help to manage the service. So after we have successfully installed the Tomcat server, the second step we will install the SSL certificate. But as we know that there are many drawbacks while we directly install the SSL certificate on the Tomcat server. So here I found a website that highlighted few drawbacks here. So while suggested if we use a unprivileged user, and it will cause the unable to bind the restricted ports like the conventional SSL3 or the 443. So that is an issue if we just use an unprivileged user. And the second one is that the SSL with the Tomcat is not widely supported by other software. If, for example, you want to use a self-signed SSL certificate, that will be hard, and because you may need to install some other modules that will not work with the Tomcat. And furthermore, the Java key store format require conventional certificates that to be converted before use, so which is complicated automation. And furthermore, the conventional web server release more frequently than Tomcat. That means if we want to keep the application on the server not out of date quickly, and we would better to use something else that's more frequently updated. For example, for our case, we will adopt a reverse proxy solution with an actual Apache server. So I list out a graph like this, and this can clearly explain on the structure of the Tomcat and Apache. Apache is standing before the Tomcat, that is receive the request from the clients, and then proxy the request to the Tomcat. So this is called a reverse proxy solution with the extra Apache. So the next step is we will you install the Apache server on the same DataView.org, and then install the SSL certificate on the Apache instead of the Tomcat server. And to do this, I will skip the details to how to install Apache server as well in this video, but I will attach a link in below if you want to check it out. And after we set up the Apache server, we will have to adjust the Apache virtual host to proxy with a module that called the mod_jk. This will be installed in the Apache server, and this module can help to proxy the request to the tomcat server. So I will show you briefly how it looks like. So basically, let's go to the server, and right now I'm on the dataview.org server. So what I need to do is to firstly cd the So while I'm under the Apache folder, I will go to the sites enable folder. And here is a file that I will configure in order to proxy the request from the Apache to Tomcat. So let's go and take a look at this file. And this file is a bind mount to another folder. I will show you later. So this is a file we'll have to configure the proxy, the reverse proxy, and this line is a key how to proxy the request from the Apache to Tomcat. So this is jk mount, which is uses the module we installed just now, the mod_jk, and then to mount it to the AJP13 worker, and this will proxy the request, all the requests from the Apache to Tomcat. And after we get this done, and we will purchase a SSL certificate from networksolution.com, and which will require us to input the .csr file that is provided on the dataview.org server. Sorry, here's a typo. I will show you where we can find this. So because we are working together with Wayne State IT, and they help us to generate this CSR file as well as a key file. And this is, I think we are able to generate these files ourselves with the command line as well, but it's good. They have already provided us, so we can directly use this one to generate to configure the SSL certificate on the domain provider, which is networksolution.com, and then after configuration, maybe after 24 hours, we will receive the certificate from the email, and then we can go ahead and install the SSL certificate on the Apache server. So I will show you how the installation process goes. So we are back to the sites -enable folder under the Apache server, and here is a configuration file we have to change. So here we have to enable the SSL engine, and which is on here, and then we have to specify two files. One is a certificate file, that is sent from the domain provider, which is networksolution.com. That help us to generate a CRT file from the CSR file we provided. And a second one, we have to provide a certificate key file. That is a key file we just show you on the that generated from the local server. And so here, after we set this up, and we can restart the Apache server, and the SSL certificate should be installed on the server, and then it will be reflected from the website when user access. And so next step, we have to redirect the request from the port 82443 on Apache server, and we will do the same work on the same file. We will do the work on the same file. So you can see above, we have a local virtual host 80 port, and here we specify the server name, same as database.org, and then we redirect it permanently to the HTTPS database.org. So this is how it works. And finally, there's another extra step actually we have to do in order to successfully visit the port 80 from the web browser anywhere. So that is under the apache.config file, and we have to change the allow override to all instead of long. So I will show you the line here. So under this file, there's a directory /var/www, and under this section there is allow override, and we have to change it to all instead of long. So after we get all this done, I think we're pretty ready to visit this website from the SSL or from the HTTPS from now on. So right now we have successfully configured the website with the SSL certificate and has ability to redirect all the requests from port 80 to port 443. And I think we are good now. If you have any further question, you can directly contact us and let us know if anything does not work from your side. I think this is there's one more thing I have to show you. That is a file I just mentioned. So there was a file we just changed under the size dash enabled folder. So here is this folder, but usually we configure the Apache server. We always configure under the sites available, but this one is kind of override this folder. But at the same time, we set up the same file use a bind mount technique, that is to sync the two files in within the different folders. So that means we have the same file both in this folder, in this sites available folder, as well as a sites enabled folder. So that helps us to get the Apache configured successfully. Okay, so I think it's pretty much what I will talk about today for how to set up the SSL certificate on our server. Hope you will enjoy this video, and until next time, happy coding.